Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the mental wellness channel with Higgs, aka Wahiga. Higgs, aka Wahiga, yes. And I am Wahiga, a recovering alcoholic. Today I want to talk about God, spirituality, religiosity, and addiction. And how do these things come together? So welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all my 914 subscribers. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, share. Thank you so much, guys. So this is an interesting topic. I have been sober for 4 years and 6 months, and this is by the grace of God. When I say by the grace of God, I mean that in every sense of the word. When I say that I am sober by the grace of God, I cannot draw a sober breath by myself. I have tried willpower. It does not work for a person like me. I am an alcoholic. I have an allergic reaction to alcohol, meaning whenever I ingest alcohol in any form, I have a phenomenon of cravings. So something that normal drinkers will not experience, but something certainly most alcoholics will experience is the phenomenon of craving. I crave alcohol whenever I start drinking. That's why one drink is not enough and 1,000 is not enough either, right? So I can start drinking one, but I won't be able to stop myself at two. I won't be able to stop myself at three, four, five, so on and so forth, because I have now awakened the phenomenon of craving that is in me, genetically. I cannot stop myself. So there's nothing as willpower when it comes to me. I have willpower in other ways in my life. But when it comes to alcohol, there is no such thing as willpower. So by the time I got sober, what it took for me to get sober was to surrender to my higher power. By this time, my relationship with God was non-existent. I hated God. Actually, I was at the point of just being an agnostic. I did not believe in a higher power. I mean, I believed that there was a higher power, but that higher power was just not there for me. I believed that God was there, but he just wasn't there for me, didn't care for me, didn't love me, was there to torture me, to punish me, to hate on me, because I just couldn't understand, like I had been told in the church, how God is loving, is there for me, is omnipresent, is all these good things, yet I'm supposedly his child, and here I am suffering to the point where I'm ruining my life. Things are completely out of control. I'm killing myself daily by consuming alcohol, which was poison, and yet I cannot stop for the life of me. I simply could not stop drinking. So how am I supposed to believe that there is a God in heaven, on earth, and in the form of the Holy Spirit that's around and in me, that loves and cares about me and wants the very best for me? Yet I am literally dying. So that's where my mind was by the time that I was reaching rock bottom. I didn't believe that God was for me. I believed that God was against me. However, when I got towards my rock bottom, I was willing to change my mind and my heart towards these thoughts. And what I started saying was reaching out to this higher power once again, or God once again. And I started saying the alcoholic prayer. And it's called the alcoholic prayer because all alcoholics in one way or another, have done this prayer at one point in their life. And it is, God, if you really exist, please take away this drinking problem for me, and I swear I will follow you for the rest of my life. I will worship you for the rest of my life. I will never touch a drink again if you take it from me. But God, please just take it from me and I will worship you for the rest of my life. And I'd prayed that. I'd prayed that in bars. I'd prayed that at home. I'd prayed that when I was withdrawing from alcohol. I'd prayed that when I was drinking. I'd prayed that so many times. And it hadn't worked. But this time there was a genuine earnestness to my prayer. And I was really at the end of my rope. And I asked God again. Like, there was no plan Z, there was no plan B, there was no plan C, there was no other plan. I was at the end of my rope. Here I am, I can't end my life. I kept ending up in hospital. Something would always happen. So here I am, I feel like a failure in the fact that I'm suicidal, but I can't actually end it. I feel like a failure because I can't stop drinking. And when I'm drinking, I can't see a life without not drinking. It's a very strange place and a very hard place to be in, because you realize that the drink is killing you, but at the same time, you can't visualize your life without the drink, because you're so dependent on it physically and mentally and spiritually that you just can't see a life without it. And everybody around you despises you to some sort of degree. Nobody's happy to see you. There's no sort of work or employment or schooling or anything that you're doing, that there's nothing you're doing in life, okay? You're just living to drink and drinking to live. And I remember just asking God, okay, I'm done. I mean, if you want to kill me and take my life, do it. But if I'm supposed to live life, then please just take this alcohol away from me. I'm begging you. Because I can't do this anymore. I simply cannot do this anymore. And God asked me 2 questions. One, why are you in all the problems that you're in? And I said, alcohol. And the second thing he asked me was, okay, will you be willing to just admit that probably, maybe, you're an alcoholic? And I said, yeah. And a weight had been lifted from me. And that's when I knew, okay, I'm an alcoholic. And I told God, please get me help. Otherwise, I'm going to die today if you don't get me help today. And within 2 hours, plans had been made, and I was at the halfway house, the sober house that I got sober at. And I didn't stay sober starting from that day, which I think was the 23rd of February, 2017. My sobriety journey started on the 2nd of July, 2017. But I got introduced to the 12-step program, AA. And at that point, I wanted to hear nothing about God. If God is so powerful, if God has the power, the might, the everything, why did he let me suffer for so long? I have had this issue with my God and my relationship with God for a while. But I will say this. The only reason that I am sober, recording this and talking to you right now, is by the grace of God. I have tried each and every way to get and stay sober. and nothing had worked. I had tried therapy, I have tried detox, I had tried going to church, getting baptized, I had tried the sober buddy system, I had tried accountability partners, I had tried, getting busy, getting a job, psychiatric medication. I had tried, if you name it, I had tried it, right? I had tried to drink less. I had tried switching to wine. Don't drink hard liquor. Drink only on holidays. Whatever. I had tried everything. For me, what worked was the 12-step program. And in the 12-step program, I found a new way, an unorthodox way to cultivate a relationship with my higher power, which I choose to call God, that I have never found in any other fellowship all these 29 years that I have been alive. Right? There is something about fellowship, service, and God that has been able to keep me sober for all these years and these months. Unlike any other single program or fellowship that I have tried in the past, or treatment plan. And I'm here solely because of the 12 steps, the 12-step programs, and how those 12 steps have been designed in such a way that you are able to reach a new level of understanding with your higher power that is not contingent on going to church, on talking to the pastor, on whatever it is. It's not religion. I'm not bashing religion in any way, shape, or form. Whatever gets you to God is whatever gets you to God. I think that's what I'm trying to say right now. As an addict and as an alcoholic, what has gotten me to God is the thorn in my side. Alcoholism is not a disease that is ever going to go away from me. It is something that I'm going to live with every single day. And the cure for that is to first every morning surrender my will, my wants, my hopes towards my higher power as I understand that higher power to be. And ask this higher power to please grant me peace, serenity, and sobriety for just the next 24 hours. Because as I have explicitly talked about in all my videos on this channel, I cannot keep myself sober, not for even 1 second. So what has been keeping me sober these 4 years and 6 months has been a power greater than myself. It's been a higher power. It's been God. It's been God. It's been fellowship. It's been service towards other alcoholics who are just like me. That's what has kept me sober. And even the days when I don't believe I deserved to be sober, when, for instance, I didn't do the work, I didn't work with another alcoholic, I didn't say my prayers in the morning, I didn't do my gratitude list, I didn't, I slept very angry, which we're not supposed to do. I didn't call my sponsor. I still was sober. And that is the grace of God. Because in those types of circumstances, should not be sober. were it not for the grace of God. I've been through some very hard things in the past 4.5 years. I've been to medical institutions for mental issues, right? I've been in the psychiatric ward, and I've been there 3 times. And those were moments where I was not cognizant and I was not all here. And those were moments where I was in deep depressions and could not do the program to the best of my ability. I could not pray. I could not reach out to God and surrender my will and my life over to His care and ask Him humbly to just grant me sobriety for the next 24 hours. However, by His grace, He gave me sobriety. That's not a me thing. That's a He thing. That's a higher powered thing. That's not me. That is not me. So basically, I wanted to say that in this journey, the thorn in my side, the thing that makes me continuously go to God every single day and be very close to God, is the fact that I am an alcoholic. The fact that I'm an alcoholic makes me so vulnerable. And my only cure is asking God for my sobriety. That's the only way I stay sober. So God has put me very close to Him. He has made it so, and He has designed me in a way that I have to be very close to Him. He knew that I needed a very rigorous spiritual program in the form of 12-step programs that I needed to be involved with daily in order to come to Him daily and surrender my life to Him daily and ask Him for daily redemption from this disease. So I don't want to have a drink for the next 24 hours. What do? I went for a meeting in the morning. I said my prayers this morning. I asked God to take my will, take my life, and hopefully just grant me sobriety for the next 24 hours. I'm beginning to realize that my life as an alcoholic, the problem is that I can't handle life well. That's why I always tend to look for the other things that will help me cope. I don't like to deal with people. I don't like to deal with life on life's terms. I hate it. I'd rather isolate and stay in my own world with my own fantasies and my own fake money and ball out in my mind. But that's not life. So very early on in life, I found my coping mechanism was alcohol, which turned out to be a very bad coping mechanism, which is where 12-step programs come in, because now I have to gear my life into a new way of living, a God-centered way of living. And it's not in a traditional religious way of living. It is a very action-based program where I do as I say, as I do. It because it's based on life and death. Remember, guys, for me to pick up a drink is to die. So these are not games we're playing here in these programs. Sobriety for me is a life thing. If I am not sober, I am heading in the opposite way. It's not a, oops, that was a mishap. Oops, we'll try again next time. I'm ending up going the opposite of life. I'm ending up going to the dark place. Because for a person like me, to pick up a drink is to pick up death, essentially. That's how serious this disease is. I have seen people succumb to alcoholism. People who are younger than me. Yeah, people who are in their 20s. So this is a life and death situation. And God is at the center of my recovery, or anyone's recovery who wants to stay sober. And God could be a number of things. God could be my creator, the person I think that made me, the entity I think that made me and made the world. God could be the gift of desperation. God could be a group of drunks. God could be anything that is out of my power. God is anything that is not me. Because that's the problem. As an alcoholic, I tend to put and place the power on myself. Like I have the power. That's why we say higher power. Anything other than myself. Anything outside of myself, outside of myself is a higher power. And if that higher power leads you to believe that it is God, then good for you. If that's what keeps you sober, even better. But the shift of power has to happen from I am God, me, Waihiga the alcoholic, to outside, higher power, outside my control. Because as an alcoholic, I have a God complex. I do. I tend to think that I am God. I tend to run the show. I have this problem. I love control. I have a very big problem with control. I tend to think that I am God and I can handle everything. And I like to manipulate and fix this here and fix that narrative here. But when this disease happened to me called alcoholism, the first thing that was completely out of my control, I had to look for a higher power that was outside of me to grant me daily reprieve from this horrific disease and grant me sobriety. And that is in essence where my relationship with my higher power, whom I choose to call God, is where it is today. Thank you for watching my video. This is such an awesome platform that we are creating here, guys. I am so happy for all the 914 subscribers that we have so far. Please share, subscribe, and like. Thank you so much, guys. Till I see you next time. Bye. And Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.